They're the men holding on to power at the moment. The Bristol City Board in the front there, Russell Osman. But how long they'll be in power, we don't know.
Today, the club's financial director was quick to make the most out of figures, showing pre-tax profits of more than £500,000 for the past year.
I want shareholders to be aware that, particularly in view of the EGM, as you say, that it is their club, and they should be aware of the good financial management that has taken place over these last 11 years since this club was saved in 1982.
The Rebel or Reform Group had not yet received today's figures and said that they couldn't comment. An extraordinary general meeting will be held next week.
For Les Q, Saturday's home game against Millwall marked the end of an era. It was his last as chairman of Bristol City Football Club and the final time he was to take his place in the director's box. The power struggle for control of the club came to a head on Friday when nearly 1,000 shareholders packed Whitchurch Sports Centre to vote on who should run the club. This morning, a representative from the ballot scrutineers arrived at Ashton Gate with the envelope which contained the board's fate. At the reconvened shareholders' meeting, Les Q, flanked by his directors, revealed the news.
I therefore declare that each of the resolutions numbered 1 to 9 have been carried, and resolution number 10 has been rejected.
The Rebels had taken a 57% share of the vote and with it control of the club. Perhaps the final nail in the coffin, the news just hours before Friday's meeting that the board were found guilty by the FA of misconduct over grant applications. For Mr. Q, now just another supporter, apparently no bitterness.
At the end of the day, I just hope that they sort of organise and run the club to the best of their ability and achieve the success that we as supporters want. You know, I'm a supporter of Bristol City. I'm an ex-director but a supporter, and I still want to see a winning team. So yeah, let's hope that everything goes well for everybody.
The new board set about planning the future with David Rossi, the new chairman. Manager Russell Osman, meanwhile, returned from training to meet them, not knowing if he still had a job. The board says there won't be change for the sake of it.
We've got an intensive week of reviewing every single aspect of this club. We won't accept, because it happens like this, or has happened like this for 15 years, that is the right way to do it. It might well be the right way to do it. We won't change for change's sake, but we won't be frightened to change either.
The new board were today settling in. The supporters who fill these stands will be expecting them to turn promises into reality and Bristol City into a force to be reckoned with at the highest level. Whether they fulfil those promises and satisfy the Ashton Gate faithful, only time will tell. Jill Hoyle, HTV News.
It's very, very important for us to mend bridges. Everyone's been through an extremely torrid time. And that's history as far as I'm concerned, and I speak for the rest of the board. We want to get on with running Bristol City Football Club, and as I said earlier, mend the bridges for the good of the club.
What about the position of Russell Osman, the manager?
Russell's position is, as you're aware of, he's under contract with Bristol City Football Club. We've had a meeting with him earlier this afternoon. The meeting, I believe, went extremely well, and I'm delighted with what I've seen of Russell. He's an extremely bright young manager, a manager, personally speaking, I hope will be with Bristol City for many years to come.
So you're not going to sack him?
Absolutely not.
Now, the other thing hanging over the club, obviously, is the FA inquiry and the finding that the club is guilty of misconduct. What will happen about that now?
To be totally honest with you, I'm not sure. We're looking at various paperwork and documentation later this afternoon. I will be in a position to answer that question more fully when I've had the opportunity of studying the various documentation.
What will be the impact on the club so far as the supporters are concerned, and how long will they have to wait to see changes?
We've obviously stated in the past we're looking for Premier League football within 5 years, and we would like to think that we will be able to obtain that goal within the 5 years. Obviously there's going to be a period of consolidation which is going to be extremely important for the club. But I will stand by what we've said in the past. We will be in the Premier League hopefully within 5 years.